All right. Um. Okay. Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to the first day of the Simple Flyer Design class. So, on today's class, we'll be looking into the app review of the app we're going to be using for this class, which is Pixel Lab. So, I before now I've already instructed you guys to go on Play Store and get the apps. All right. So one might ask if that's the only app you'll be needing for this class. Well, yes, and there are some features I'm going to unveil to you, and then what the app does. So here is what the app looks like. So if you are having something different, just know that that's not the app I that's not the app you actually downloaded. So here is how the app looks like. So coming here, we have this icon here. We have this icon here is to add elements. I'm just trying to go through it before I state individually what each of these does. We have the save button next to it. We have the share button next to it. We have quotes because there are some um, pre-saved quotes here that you might want to use. The next one here gives you a list of drop down that you might want to be interested on. So we also have edit, we have delete, we have the undo, we have the zoom, we have the grid lines, and then we have the layers, you're right. So coming down, we have projects. Although if you have not used this app before, you won't be seeing this because projects are works you've already done and you've saved it. Then also next to it you have some pre-saved, or will I say some designs, the default designs they already have here, which are of no use to me. Alright, we have the text section. We also have scum button is for shapes. The third here is for the background, and the last here is also for the background. So officially I'm going to be taking you guys through this app and the whole functions of every single item you're going to see here. So I'm officially going to be telling you what it does. So I think I should start from these icons below, the one at the downmost part of the layout. So here first of all takes you to their default backgrounds and default designs they already have on the app. And just like I told you, the first one here you are seeing is my projects, which if is your first time downloading this app, you won't get to see this because my project is talking about designs you already have saved on the app. So one very good thing about this app is that you can save your work as projects, in the sense that you can come back anytime to have them edited, to have them edited, and in case you have any sort of corrections you have to make, you can still come back to it. So I will just be here are some of the works I did with this app. So I'm just going to click on this. so here is a design I actually did some days ago with this app. So everything here, I'm just trying to show you that anything here can be edited, you can correct any of these. So that's one thing special about this app, that you can correct, you can come back to works you've already done and make your corrections on it. So let's go back to default because I'm trying to show you what each of these does. So just like I said, the first icon below here tells you about takes you to the default layout of the app and the default designs they already have here, which they think you might want to try out, but to me, just like I said, it's of no use. And yeah, it's of no use to me. So secondly here, sorry, let's go back to default. So secondly here is the text area. So you just have to pay attention very well. Secondly here is the text area. You already have a text here. Here is the text. So if you want to edit anything concerning a text, you just have to click on the text and select the text area, which is the one having A, alphabet A. So from here it gives you options that are related to text, which you can try out. So edit, if you click edit, you can change the text into any preferred thing you want. Let's say since it's the month of January, let's say January. I get him. So that's for the edits. The next one is if you wishes to delete the text. Press on delete and it's gone. Which, if you look up, there's an undo button here that can bring back undo anything any action you've already taken previously. So the next we have copy. This copy, it can duplicate. It helps you to duplicate fast. What's it called? A text. It helps you duplicate a text. So maybe you want to. I like using this copy in the sense when I want to use a text of same font, I just have to duplicate that one and maybe edit whatsoever I want to write on it, and that's it. So you can see they're having the same font but different text because I had to edit the second one. So after that we have to front to back. What this to front to back means is when you're designing, any item you're putting on this app forms a different layer, forms a separate layer on its own. I get me. This layer can be accessed by this button at the top right of this app, which is this. So you can see when you click it, you can see that January here has a layer which is above that of the February. I get me. So these functions, which is to back and to front and to back, helps you to switch layers. You understand? So if I press, the text function is on January. So if I press to front, it comes to the front. If I press to back, look, it switches to the back. I get me. Switch the layer to the back. So just like I said, this is an app review. I'm just trying to tell you what it does, but as time goes on you know the usefulness of it. If you press to front, it comes to the front. If you press to back, it switches to the back. So after that we have position. Position is trying to move the text. When you try to move the text, although you can do it manually with your hands, but sometimes you want to make only a little movement which might not really be possible with the hand. You just have to reduce the move pixel and tap. So you can see that the January is making a very slight change due to moving with 1 pixel. If you wanted to make a bigger shift or change the position, you have to just increase the pixel and click on any of the position you prefer. So that's what that does. We have the relative position. This relative position helps you to drop the item whether at the center or at the left end, the right end, the top end, the down end, the center and the middle. I get it. So that's what this relative action helps you do. So after that we have the size. If you want to increase the size of the font, you use this to increase the size of your font, although you can also do that manually just by dragging this here, dragging this. So after that you have the padding. This padding is very important. What it does is to create space at the ends of the text, I get me, give the text an extra space. You understand? Why is very important is that there are some fonts you might choose to type on, and if the padding is at 00, you will just notice that some part of the text you selected or some part of the text you wrote out is missing. I get me. Some font does that. So in order to make it show properly, you have to increase your left or your right padding. So just like this, you notice that maybe the edge of that Y is kind of hidden. If I increase the right padding, it gives it a breathing space. It comes out the more. You get what I'm saying? So that's what padding helps you achieve. You have color. In the color area, you can give your text color. Here is red. You have the ash. So there are some pre-defined colors here. That's the ones that are already saved on the app. I get me. But let's say you want your own color. You want to choose a color. What do? There's a plus sign here. Just click on it. It will take you to what we call the color wheel. Yes, a color wheel. You take you to a color wheel. In your color wheel, you can select colors. So if you see, I'm taking them around and then I'm getting different shades of colors. So this is a shade of red, ox blood. So you can, from here also, you can either increase the intensity of the shades or reduce it. So the first one, I don't know if you guys have followed my first class on basics to design. The first one is called tone. Yes, tone. We have tone and we have shade. So tone is an addition of bright colors, addition of white color. So when you are tuning it, you see that when you are taking it down, you are gradually getting to white. Are you getting me? You're gradually getting to white, arriving to white color, because at the tone area you have your white colors. Then the other one there is called the shade. When you're gradually taking it down, you get to black. It's the addition of black to bright colors, or to primary colors, to bright color. Addition of white. Tone is addition of white to bright colors. Shade is addition of white and addition of black to bright colors. So why the last one here is opacity. It helps, gives the visibleness of the text, or the color, actually the color. So how visible you want the color to be on the text. Although I'm just trying to tell you what this here does. Although there are some areas I use them that are very that gives a kind of stylish look. So as time goes on, I think that will be unveiled. So that is it for the color. Then we have selection at the color area, in the sense that you can give some colors a different sort of shade, and the other text a different sort of colors. So I just selected J and A, so I'm going to give them blue. That's the light blue. You can see that it's having a different color from the rest of the text. So you can select your text and give them different colors, and that can only happen in the color area, not at the gradient area. Alright, after the color there, we have texture. In the texture there, you use the texture to give your text a kind of look. Okay, use the texture to give your text a kind of look. Maybe there are some colors that are not, there are some colors, or there's some look. Okay, let's say, I don't know if you've seen a design and you see that maybe the text on the design is having an Ankara look on it. I think I have something like that. Don't know if I'm gonna see it. So I think I have something like that, where my text, the text being used as an Ankara. So I'm just trying to explain that the Ankara on the text is a texture. I get it. Is a texture that I used. Okay, I think I've deleted it. So okay, although let me do that again so that you can understand properly what I'm saying. So I just changed the font, although we get to that. I just wanted to show you guys with a kind of bolder font. So I've selected texture. So when you select the photo area, it takes you to your images. So at your images, you can select a picture or a background to use on the text instead of colors. I get me. So already I have a folder on this phone called background where some texture where I saved some texture that I can use on my text. So look at the background here. You can see gold textures, you can see silver textures that I already saved on my phone. So I think I'm going to go with one of these gold here. So I'm going to just select that. I notice that the color, the texture of the January has changed. It has taken up the gold. It has taken up the gold texture right there. That's taking up the ghost texture right there. So that is it for texture. So I expect that after explaining this, you go on your own to try it out and unveil some things on your own. So moving on to opacity, you notice that the opacity, just like I said, is to show the brightness of visibility of the text. I get me. Opacity is for the visibility of the text. So if you reduce the opacity of the text, you notice that it gets faint. While when you increase it, you see that it is now profound. I get what I'm saying. So that is it for opacity. Then rotation. The next one there is rotate. You can rotate with what's it called? You can rotate your text. So you can see that in some designs you see that their text are kind of slanted. And most times if I'm doing that, I use something like -5 on my either -5 or -3 and to slant my text while designing. I usually either use -5 of the rotate or -3. So that's what the rotate does, although you can still rotate manually by holding the center area of the text and turning it any way you wish it to be. So that's the manual rotation. So masking, when we talk about masking, we are talking about it's a kind of eraser, although when you erase with shapes, kind of erasing some part of the text with shape. Okay, although at this point here actually is used for a very technical achievement, in the sense that when you want to achieve some kind of styling in your text, you can use your masking to do that. You can use the masking to do that, to achieve some kind of effect on that. So the next one here is your font area, where you can get to select fonts from the app. So initially you have fonts. So if you have this app, if you're just having this app for the first time, on your my font there will be nothing there, because you have to input this font here manually. I get it mean. So it's either you download the fonts on the system, on your system and on your phone actually, although I'll be showing you guys how to do that. So just the fonts here, the font area here is just to show you where you can select font, your desired font for a graphic work you are about doing. So that's, you can select as, just make different choices. You can see as I tap them, they assume the font. You can see a preview up there to show you how it looks, so you get to see how it looks before you get to select any one of your preferred choice. Alright, so after the font we have curve. In the curve area you can actually give your text some curves. You can give your text some curves depending on what you want to achieve. These are when you want to achieve some styles in your designs. Then you can give your text background with the background area. Okay, normally what I use this background area to do is I use it as a button, in the sense that maybe I want to write something like order now. Let's say order now. So let me change the font to something more visible, something someone can read. If you followed my previous class where we talked about the principles of design, you notice that using a legible text is using a legible text is one of the major things you need to know. Okay, I can't change the color now because the texture is there, so what I will do is to delete this texture that I already have here. So, and okay, now I have a white text on the order now. So going to the background area, here is for your left padding, the other one is for the right padding. So I'm going to pad them in a way that it will not look like a button, so now appear like a button on the order now. So, and normally I like my left and my right padding having the same number. So on my left padding I have a -13. Let me give my right padding -13 too. The top padding I have 14. Let me also give the okay, let me give the top 18. So after which you can have a radius. You can see the radius here helps you curve the what's it called, the background. Then let me give it red. Now it's looking like a button order now. You understand? So that's what I use what's it called, the background to achieve most times. After the background you have align. So align here is when you have a bunch of text. Let me choose a bunch of text from quotes here. So I'll just say okay. So align, of course, if you have been doing some typing, you know that here is left alignment, you have the centered alignment, and you have the right alignment. So depending on the design you're doing, you know what alignment you have to give it. You have spacing. If you want to space in between the text, yeah, let me delete this, let me go back. Okay, if you want space in between the text, use spacing. If you want to space in between the words, you can see you have letters and we have words. If you click the word and space, you space in between words. If you click letters, you space in between letters. I'm going to undo that. The next one we have is line spacing. When we talk about line spacing, we are talking about giving space in between let me use a quote to illustrate them. Giving space in between each line of the text, and I normally use this just to give my text a breathing space so that it's not be too clustered, so people can be able to read whatever information I'm trying to pass in. So we have here, learning is the beginning of wealth, learning is the beginning of health. So the next thing is I'm going to undo all this because I need I'm going to change the I'm going to change the font to maybe I'm going to use something visible. I'm going to delete the stroke. You can give your text strokes, although most times I don't advise stroking, except I use it now. Most times I use it for my what's it called, I use it for my headings. So there are some effects I want to achieve with stroke. There are some these effects I love to achieve with stroke, although these are more advanced. But most times I don't encourage beginners using stroke on their designs at all, because I think it's either they don't know how to implement it very well, and it's and and again, never use it on informations you're trying to pass. Yeah, it looks so dirty in the eye. So we have shadows. If you want to give your text some shadows, and most times you give text shadows in this so that it can be seen in areas where the text does not appear fully, or one cannot fully read out the information there. You just give it shadow so that the text will now come out well. You understand? So we have inner shadow. There are some also other magics I use inner shadows for, though um yeah, especially for the heading. Understand? So as time goes on, this will unveil. So the next we have emboss, we have the 3D rotate. So I just think um these ones I showed you are very necessary and they're very fundamental. The rest, just like the perspective, the emboss, the 3D rotate, and the 3D text, are not really necessary. They're just secondary. You understand? They're secondary, and I can just play around them to see what it's turned out to be. So we're moving over to the next icon. I'm trying to be very fast so that this video will not be too long. So the next icon here gives you settings. Yeah, from here you can edit. Well, mostly you can edit from here are shapes. I get me. They are shapes, and also they have some default settings here. Stickers. They have some stickers that you might not use in your life. You might not want to ever use these stickers for anything, because I don't even see any useful sticker here. So the stickers are not nice. They are not nice at all. So doesn't. So from here, import. This import here takes you to your gallery or takes you to your file manager, so that you can bring in pictures, bring in anything that you wish to bring in while making your designs. I get me. And once you bring anything in, it sees it as a shape. It doesn't see it as a picture. It sees it as a shape. Are you getting me? It sees it as a shape, and there are some settings under it that some of them are also very likely. It's not even very likely. Some of them are the same settings you get in your text area, just like the copy. If you say, okay, this one is to crop, if you need to crop the text, if you like the copy to just duplicate, just like you get in your what's it called, in the text area, in the text option. You have the copy, you have the to front and to back. So let me still re-emphasize on this so you get what I'm saying. So just like I told you, when you click here, you get the layer area. So when you say to front, it moves above all the other layers on the layout. Are you getting me? So you can see that February and January are hidden because the picture here is in front of them. But when you move them to the back, you see that they are now, it moves to the back, while February and January are visible on top of it, because the layers they have switched layers. I get what I'm saying. So these are what it does for you. You already know what your position does. You also know what your relative position does. Sizing is either to increase the size of your shape or picture you brought in, increase or reduce. I say shape because the app sees it as a shape and not as a picture. So any settings is given you is the same setting to give to a shape. I get me. So you have color. You can give it a color, and it assumes totally that color. Okay. So the next there is also texture. You can give the picture texture, just like I say, it sees that the shape. So treat it as one. You can give it a texture, just like you give your text a texture. The opacity, which is the visibility, which we talk about the visibility, is the same thing. The next thing is the color filter. In here, the color filter, you just get some kind of features, in the sense that you can change the colors. You can change the colors of your design by hueing. If you follow my my first class, you notice that hue here means addition of bright colors to the primary or the color wheel. Yes, it's addition of bright colors to the color wheel. That's what hue does. So it moves, it just switches variants of colors when you hue. And I will tell you one thing I use this for, and there's something called I'm going to use my design as an example. There's something called, I'm going to bring in that design I did for the class. So there's something called what's this thing called again? In design, it's called oh, I forgot the word. Either repetition or so. Okay, I've forgotten the exact word is being called. But now look at this design. You can see that the colors on the t-shirt and the colors of the background of the design are looking alike, because I want them to look alike. Okay, it's called proximity. Yes, now I remember the word. It's a principle of design. It's called proximity, in the sense that you make some there is relationship in between the features or components of the design. So you notice that the colors of my t-shirt are looking alike of the colors used in the design, but originally that's not the color of the t-shirt. The color of the t-shirt there is brown, and then where the picture is very far, I would have brought it out and show you, but the actual color of the t-shirt is brown. So what did I do? I used hue to change the color of my t-shirt. I used hue. So look at the actual color of the t-shirt here. Yeah, this is the actual color of the t-shirt, brown. Here is the actual color of the t-shirt. So what I use is I hue my picture, and I had the color of the t-shirt changed to what's it called? The purple there. Yes. So that's one of the tricks I use this color filter to achieve. So we have the hue, we have the saturation. It puts in more light, gives you more light, puts in more colors to the color, already existing color. The brightness gives more light to already existing colors. Here also hides, contrast, hides the darker parts and brings out the lighter part out. That's what it does. So although there are no specific settings to this, so you set it according to how it's going to please your work. Just okay, still remember we are on app review. We are reviewing what each of these components does. So the next thing there is stroke. Just like a text, you can stroke your shape, or you can stroke your picture, or whatsoever you have imported into this app, and you can also give them colors based on what is preferred. After that, we have the erase. Okay, one might say, how did I okay, erase? Just like erase, you can clean some parts that are not needed in what you can also use it to crop your pictures, just like I'm doing now. Although, so I'm cropping only the picture area out of this whole design. Here, when you press the zoom action, you can zoom in to get zoom in, and once you zoom in, you zoom with your two fingers, click it and erase. Oh, reduce the erase here, and erase according to. So I'm just trying to show you what the erase does. Okay, there's stroke here, that's why it's giving this look. So you can see I've cleaned some part of it, so I'm having some parts remaining. and my picture remaining. After the eraser, we have the masking. The masking, just like that of the text, you can use it to achieve some kind of features, in the sense that you can create shape and use the shapes you've created to hide some part of um, your picture, just to achieve some kind of shape. Just like we have a default shape here, which I'm going to reduce the size, and I'm going to max it out. So you can see that now look at my picture is now, say my picture now, see it gave it a kind of curve shape at the end. You understand? So that's what masking does. If you know how to create shapes on your own too, you can use shapes you've already created and mask your picture and get your picture to some kind of shape. So I just deleted that, so you can see the shape it actually gave me from my masking. We have erase color. So this erase color is kind of magical. I love it. I'm going to show you what it does. It can help you erase a particular color from a background. So for example, some persons might be asking, where did you download this thing? Already existing designers, they know what the PNG is. Even non-existing, the thing is that if you have followed my first class, you'll understand some words I'm being using, that although I think I'll be having a short class on that before reviewing this app actually. So I'm trying to show you what this erase color does. It removes a particular color from your background. So that's why for me, sometimes when I want to download pictures, I don't mind downloading pictures on white background, because I know this erase color can help me erase it at once. So once I click erase color, and on the default, what it will erase for you is the white color. Yes, it already has a white color. So you can see that it has erased all the whites in this picture that I just brought. Let me off it. When I on it, it erases all the white colors here. When I want, the tolerance helps you to give it some kind of cleanliness, but once it's more pronounced, it gets in deep into the picture. So although you can choose to erase other colors that are not white, what do? You just tap the color picker here and select any color from the background that you want to erase. So let's say you want to erase this green. So you can see that the green part is out and we are left with the yellow and white part. I get me. You can also choose to erase more than one color. What do? You add your plus sign. Your plus sign help you add more and more color to it, and note that defaultly what it erases for you is white. So if you need to change the color, tap on the color picker, pick the color, and erase it. I get me. So that's what this erase color does. So you can see I've erased both the green and the yellow color. The green and the yellow color. So it's giving me something like this. So I'm left with only the white. So that is what the erase color does for you. We have the rotate, just like that of what's it called, that of the text. It also rotates. We have the 3D, the perspective, shadows. You can give shadows to your you might be asking why I'm skipping this perspective, 3D and 3D rotate. Just like I said, they are not primary. You understand? You use them to achieve some kind of complicated stuff. You understand? So for the purpose of this class, we are only looking at how to achieve simple designs. You understand? Very beautiful and simple designs. Nothing too complicated with your smartphone and with this app. So diving into the more complicated aspect, you will get lost. Actually, that's it. You get lost. So you need to understand this aspect of the it first before having to go into this other part of it. So the inner shadow also is another. Okay, although I don't think I use this much on shapes. I use it where I use more of the inner shadows that are on text. So we have reviewed two icons from the below, which has multiple features in it. So this other one is consigned. Okay, I'm going to click this area, what's it called, the layer part, and delete some things I don't need this anymore. This one, I'm just going to remove the hue that I made on this picture. What would I do? I go to color filters and then I reset. So we're back to the normal color. So the third one here is any setting you get on this third one is on the background, works on the background. So let's say, for example, color. I want to give color to the background. You go to the third, like, okay, it's not the third icon, it's the fourth icon, but it's the third setting. You understand? So you choose color and you give it any color. I have some saved colors here. You can see my pink, you can see my make color, black, the rest. These are graded colors. You can move to normal colors, single colors, and choose colors. So I think for the purpose of this, let's be working with white, but some of my texts are white, so they are hiding. What do? I change the colors of the text, maybe to something red or black. Let's use black. Change the colors to black. So just like I said, this fourth setting here, this with background, this one is to give color to the background. Here gives you a transparent background, in while here gives you the width or the height, or you give your design a particular size. So that's image size. We have image. When you go to this image, they just give you some kind of saved image they already have on PixArt, which you might not ever want to use in your life. Okay, but from gallery. So here, let's say you downloaded the background you saw on the internet and you like it and you want to use it as your background that you'll be working on. What do? Just go to from gallery and it will take you to a gallery. So I already have some background here, so you just choose the background and bring it in, then it becomes the background of the work. I get it, mean. So that's what from gallery does for you. You can choose to take a camera shot, which you will not want to do that. You won't want to do that. So the fifth one also gives you settings that works only on the background. You want to rotate your background, although it's plain white, so whether it's rotating or it's not rotating, you will not notice. The vintage here is to give some dark shade or some kind of color shade around your design. It doesn't really, okay, these ones here I barely use them. It's barely needed, you understand? So I think we're done for the settings that are below the apps. So I will advise you to keep on, like, go through them, master them, try, just like I've told you what it does, try to figure some things out and then try to use them more often so I get used to what this thing does. Look at what this thing does, like, because it even took, when I was learning, I can remember when I was learning, it took me a long while before I get to master how this one was, where this setting is. So I think you need to watch this video more than once to get to know what this thing, like, to master what this thing really does, or where to find each setting, you understand? Because I think they are kind of a little bit kind of complicated and hidden, you understand? So we're going up. The first icon here, what does it is an add icon in which you can use to bring in anything. You can use it to bring in text. When you click on text, it gives you a very default text they have, which is called new text, which you can double tap to edit and put your own. Let's say you want to write date. Let's say we want to write 31st. So I think we're just dealing with date here, 31st January. So the next one, you have current date. I don't think I've ever used this before. It gives you the current date once the date on your phone is correct. That's if you want to use it. I'm deleting that. The next one is shapes. It gives you some shapes. I've been using this. There are some new things I learned about, or there are some new settings I observe with this that I've been using so much lately. So you can give it colors. Your shapes, you can give them colors. You can curve your shapes. So you can see that I'm adding some kind of radius to this square. So yeah, it's a rectangle actually. So I can choose to say this 31st, I'll bring it to the front and then place it on this. Black doesn't go on red, so white, give it white text. The January is below, so what we do, we say to front, it comes to the front, we reduce it a bit, change the color to white, or I think this me color, and place it on our text. So you can see what I've achieved. A very classy looking shape, date icon and shape. Is it date icon? Date shape, date shape. So you can see, I know if some of you have been seeing my design, you see, yeah, you get to see some kind of dates in my either my pricing or in my either in my pricing or in my dates. Yes, my dates that I use for my designs. So if I'm to arrange this thing properly, okay, don't mind whatever I'm doing now, I'll still explain it. I'm just trying to see if I can arrange this thing to have a good look. Don't mind whatever I'm doing, I can just look. Oh, what happened? Okay, all right, there we go. I think I have something nice. Okay, still on the add icon. After that we have from gallery. Sorry, I'm not done with shape. So shape, from here you can, there are some default shapes they have. Once you click here, they give you some shapes. You can either choose to use a circle, we have some semicircle, we have triangles, we have star, we have a love shape there, we have the zigzag shape, we have the diagonal shape, we have the 1 2 3 4 5 pentagon shape, we have the hexagon shape, we have the chart shape, chat and reply shape. So there are some pretty nice default shape that you want to use. So after which you can give them colors. You can give these colors, you can give them some stroking, maybe change the stroking to kind of white, so you can blur the stroke. So that's it for shape. The next icon there is from gallery. From gallery is for you to do what? Bring in anything from your gallery, import anything from your gallery. Maybe you have a shape you downloaded you want to use, you have a picture you downloaded you want to use, you have a background you downloaded you want to use for a design. So what do? These are PNGs that I downloaded and I want to use for this design. So what do? I just select them and it imports directly into the app. So I can choose to crop. Let me crop out some part I won't be needing. Okay, let me crop this one, so I'll be using one. So alright, so draw. The next one there is draw. You can use draw to draw, but look at what I use my draw to do. I use my draw to add shadow to shapes. I'm going to add a shadow to this cake parfait that I just dropped here. I'm going to use it to add a shadow below it so that it will look like the parfait is standing, it's actually standing, not flying. Understand? So what do? I'm going to, I'll leave the pen size at 10 and go to blur and increase the blur of this, of the pen size. So just what I'm going to do, I'm just going to draw a line around under of the parfait and say good. What do? You can see that the shadow I made there is on top of the cup. The cup is supposed to be on top of the shadow. What do? I just go to my layers here and drag the shadow and drag the shadow under the parfait. So now come back and look at the design. You see that the shadow is beneath the parfait and you have a pretty look. but I'm going to drag this thing, the cup, down a bit. Okay, if you notice what I used position to drag instead of using my hand to drag it, because if I'm to use my hand I might not get it in a straight manner. So I'm going to use this position to drag it down, so it looks like, yeah, I have something very perfect. So that's what I use draw mostly for. So going to the next one here is your save icon. So maybe when you're done with a design, you want to save it either as a project. Remember, when you're saving as a project, that is to say you want the design to remain in the app so that anytime you want to come back to it, you can easily come back to it. So when you click save as, you give it a name. Let's say parfait. Is it parfait or perfect? Anyway. So I've saved it as whatsoever. Okay, let me show you what it does. I'm going to exit this app and we'll still come back to this design because I've saved it as a project. So I'm going to exit it. So when I come back to the app, there's nothing on it. What do? Click on your my project and you see it there. Perfect. Is it perfect? I don't know. Click on it there and we are back. So you can still edit anything you want to edit. So that's the thing pretty about this app. You can come back to your works. So we are still at the top area, and then you can save as image. You can choose to save in your gallery as image. Normally I like using very high because when you use very high it gives you this high resolution in saving. So I normally use okay let me show you how I got that. Press save as image. Now at the quality you have dimensions. I'm just going to click the drop down there. It brings out a list. I'm going to choose very high and I'll save it to my gallery. So if I already saved in my gallery, if I'm to go to my gallery to look for it right now, you'll be seeing it right in my Pixellab gallery. Okay, I need to open it again because it takes a little time to load. So I'm just trying to tell you that whatsoever thing design you have done there, you can actually do what? You can actually save it in your phone. So you can see it right there in my gallery, Pixellab, and very high resolution. You can see our parfait. You can see our parfait right there with the shadow we created. So you can see the shadow. It's not looking like it's even on the table. You understand? So going back to the app. We're going back to the app. So after that we have the share icon. Although before you share you must have to save, although there's nothing much about the share icon. The next one here is just like I told you, they have default quotes, very inspirational quotes they have here. They also have love quotes if you are interested in any of this, and they have it in English and French, so you can choose in between. Is it motivational quotes or success quotes or friendship quote or happiness quote or inspirational quote or positive? Anyone you choose, it has some kind of list of quotes, default saved quotes here that you might want to try out. So after that, the next thing here gives you a drop down of something. Out of everything, all the drop down here, there is only one thing that is useful to me, which is recover autosave. There's something very nice about this app, and this is this recover autosave. This recover autosave, it helps you some changes that you have made in between time. Like I think it saves the last 10 revisions you have done on this app. Like it saved the last 10 revision. If I press recover autosave, it will I exited the app. Oh shit. Once you completely exit the app, it clears off the autosave. So but what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm just going to make some changes so that it will save some autosaves, so that you know what I'm talking about. So okay, let's click it now. So it saves the last 10 autosaves. So let's say you made a change that you want to come back to, you understand? So when you say recover autosave, it will give you time some of those changes were made, you understand? So if you are very lucky, you come back, you can get the specific one you want to make changes on, and it recovers it. So one of the beauties is that even though you leave this app, even though when maybe you're making a design and your phone off, you understand, it already has an auto save that when you come back, it asks you, do you want to continue? I get it. For example, I'm going to close this app and I'm going to come back to it. Look at the first question it asks me. An auto save of your last session is available. Do you want to recover it? Of course, maybe you have not saved that design and your phone trips off. You understand? So it's very good. What you just do, say okay, it brings it out for you. So this was the last auto save that was saved on this phone. So it has it already saved. You understand? So let's say, okay, all right. So that's what I want to tell you about this drop down right here. So another one we'll be looking at. Okay, we have already looked at the edits. Okay, edit. This edit here is the same edit down, so there's nothing different. The delete here is also delete down. So look at here, you have your delete. It's the same. Once you press delete from the up, it deletes. Okay, it asks you before it deletes, but once you press it from the down, just delete it without asking. You understand? So it's the same thing. So some functionality were just duplicated. Look at this edit up. Look at this. It is the same edit down here. I get me. So the next icon here is undo. So maybe you moved something. I want to go back to where it was. So I don't know when I moved it to. Okay, for example, I moved this cup away. It might be very difficult to get the exact position it was before. What do? Just press the undo. It goes back to the previous last function. I get me. So after that, we have the zoom in, where you can now zoom in. Maybe you want to get some details right. You'll be using this zoom in, especially when you have some text to place on your design and the text are kind of a little bit tiny. You might have to zoom in just to place it in order. And in other sense, also you use this zoom function when you want to what am I saying? Use this zoom function when you want to make some kind of alignment on your text. You want your text to align so properly. You understand? You zoom then just to make sure that they are aligned very well or in the same straight line. So that's it for this zooming. Then the grid lines. The grid lines here, it's as time goes on, you get to see more functionality of what this thing does. So the grid lines, once you press a grid line, it helps you to magnet some kind of to drop text in a position you want them to be. You understand? For example, now this image is not in the center, and maybe I want it to be in the center actually. And the line at the middle here, when I on my grid line, there's a line at the middle which shows center line. I get me. So once there's a sign of magnet here below. So once I click it and on it, it can easily magnet this shape to the middle. How? Once I drag it close to the middle, what does it magnet? And when it magnets it to the middle, it tells you that it's in the middle by you notice that the shape, the line at the middle is glowing. It's kind of red right now, which shows that it's in the middle. When I move it, it magnets to the other line, which shows that it's at the left hand side. So but most times I use it when I want to place stuff at the middle. So you can see now I have this shape at the middle. You can also alright, so that's it practically. So the next one here gives you a drop down of the layers in the design. So just like I said at the beginning of this video, that every item you are bringing into this app comes with a different layer. The cup, look at my parfait cup layer here, look at my shadow here. So look at my January, look at my February, my 31st, look at my shape, look at the picture I brought in. So you can see here you can lock a layer, and when you lock it, you can see per lock there. When you lock it, it means you cannot move it again. You can see I'm trying to move the parfait, but it's not moving because it's already locked. If I unlock it, now I can move the parfait. You understand? So you can see that this, what does it do? what does it do? It helps you keep something in a particular position where you want it to be, so that maybe at the course of doing design, you now mistakenly shift, what's it called, what you have already placed permanently. It won't be very nice, because maybe now you'll be trying to get it back to the position you want it to be, which might be difficult. So the lock helps you lock this element, and I've locked all of them, which shows I can't move any of them. None of them can move. I get what I'm saying. So that's what this lock functionality helps you to achieve. After which, you have the hide. So I want to hide my parfait. Once I activate it, you can see the parfait is missing because it's being hidden. You can also from here delete, but because I can undo all that, I'll just click on my undo and have all of them back. Okay, so that's practically what it does there. So on this layer, actually you can now move. If you click on the layer from the left dot, you can see some dots at the left part of each layer. So once you hold them from the left dot there, you can drag them to any position you want them to be. Maybe you want, just like previously, the shadow was on top of the parfait. But if I want the shadow now to be under the parfait, I'll just hold that area and drag it down to the switch position. So you can also hold it and drag it up. Understand? So once you drag and keep it in the position you want it to be, you release your hand, it will assume that position. So that's practically what it does right there. So I guess I have actually gone through all the icons listed on this app. Okay, there's one more left at this section, at this layer section. If you look down at the layer section, you have some edit icons, which if I click, I get me. This icon helps you to edit more than one layers at the same time. Let's say you want to move the parfait and the shadow at the same time, because now the parfait and the shadow are looking like one shape. I get me. You want to move two of them at the same time. What do you do? Once you click that, you select the parfait, select the shadow, come down and press the edit. The edit is the second icon here. Edit. It brings out some functionality for you. The first one is, do you want to rotate them? That's rotate. The second one is sizing, either you want to increase or reduce them. The third one is relative position, while the fourth one there is the position. The fifth one is invisible, or you want to lock them. But for the course of this, I'll be using the position. I want to move two of them together. So you can see I'm moving it. I'm trying to move them to the left. I'm moving it to the left. You can see it's moving together with the shadow. You understand? So that's what that does for you. And again, since I've also put the shadow and the parfait at the same place that I want them, they are not looking like they are the same. So maybe instead of stressing that when I want to push this one, I'll have to select two of them together. You can merge the two layers together to become one. But the thing is that in this app, once you merge a layer, you cannot unmerge it unless you undo, and you can only undo things that you just previously did. You understand? Let's say you merged for a very long time, you went out of the app and came back, and you don't feel like you want them to be merged again. Note that you can't unmerge it unless you delete and start afresh. And like you delete that merging, bring in your parfait again and draw your shadow again and assume whatever you want to assume. So, or create whatever you want to create. So I'm just going to show you how to merge. You just select this, select the two layers you want to merge. The third icon below here is merge. So once I click it, it asks you, are you sure you want to merge the selected object? It's asking you this thing because once you merge, you can only undo it when you recently merged it. But after for a while, you can't be able to undo that. I get it. So that's why it's asking you for confirmation before it merges. So let's say, okay, I want them because I think they are perfect. Both the show and the parfait and the shadow, they are perfect. So you can see I now have two of them together. my shadow and my parfait are together, so I can now move it at once. So I think that will be all for the app review. So I just showed you what each of these icons in this app does, their functionality, and how they can be used. Are you getting me? So if you are finding anything difficult right here, I would advise you go through the app go through this video more than once and try to see and try to know what each of these icon does. So stay posted after watching this video. Get your questions ready, and our next class I'll be answering those questions. Thank you and have a blessed, wonderful night. Peace out.